Alright everyone, welcome to part 2. This is where I'm going to go over the story, and here's where I'm going to be asking the questions I've been wanting to ask in part 1. So, okay, let's go. The story starts off in the middle of item number 1, where Yaira dropped Avery onto a car. This is to act as both a distraction and a message to Africor to don't follow her, or this will be your fate. While Braxwell checks on Avery, Solari and Valdez give chase to Yaira, managing to catch up to her. Solari throws Valdez to lasso Yaira to stop her, that way they can beat her into submission in order to arrest her. However, Yaira summons a tornado that launches him into the atmosphere. Quickly assessing the situation, Solari yells to Valdez to hold her breath. However, before she could react, Yaira was instantly there, knocking her out. Seamlessly helpless, Solari questions Yaira on what's her next move. Yaira, being quite flirty, teases Solari, telling him on him chasing her so much that she's starting to think that he likes her, and kisses him.
It should have been me, not him!
But not in a romantic way, so chill to my shippers and my Yaira lovers out there. Your queen isn't taken. Yeah. She kisses him in order to suck the air out of his lungs, knocking him out. Moments later, the fight was all over the news. Many news anchors are questioning if Solari can defeat Yaira, even though he was able to fight her to a standstill by himself during their last match. Solari, still not making a good use of the media image, dismisses Yaira and says next time she will be brought to justice. Watching the news is a group of gang members planning their next heist, which one of the members asks, "What is a Yaira?" However, before she can get her answers, the gang quickly turn off the TV and head towards their next heist. Now we are at a Projexis interview where Eusebio introduces a new member to the team. Biologist and archaeologist Dr. Sally Rodell, which is Yaira's civilian alias. And Jesus Christ, look at that woman. Whoo! Yaira is a whole lot of woman, and I'm here for her. Given her speech, she says something very cryptic: adapt or die. That is the truest law of the earth, to have the ability to survive the test of time, and only a few things manage to do so. Artifacts, ideas, and the ways of life were recorded from history. And here's an interesting thing that she said: that she was here, she lived, and she's still here among us. Now, what exactly does that mean? Is Yaira really a woman in her 30s? Or is she older than she looks? Only time can tell. Or will it? As Yaira is going on tour of the Projexis facility, behind her, her credentials were being questioned by Jerry to Altona, which she simply replies that she is well studied, but if you have more questions, feel free to ask her, to which, standing next to this woman, I probably wouldn't. As Dr. Rodell, Yaira is researching a way to improve human life, but how can she do that when life is so delicate, yet balanced, which leads to Projexis Cryogenic Laboratory. Seeming to already get along with Altona, Eusebio is happy with the team up and can't wait to see what they will discover. Sometime later, our gang is now in the middle of their heist. As they are getting the money, things seems to be going way too easy. And right as the female gang member questions that the guard usually works in pairs, out comes the other security guard, getting the drop on the gang members and managing to kill 3 of them. The female gang member fires back, hitting his vest. However, the guard fired at a reflex and managed to hit her in her stomach. Falling to her knees from the pain of the bullet wound, something starts to happen. Her hair and eyes begin to turn blue, and she unleashes a powerful beam of light, so powerful that it could be seen from space, which got the attention of some outer world people. Recovering from her wound, the girl is quite confused because her wound is healed, and she's surrounded by ice. However, before she can put two and two together, her powers begin to activate again, blasting the garage door open. Fearing that the bank is being attacked by an Except, security secures the area and calls for Alpha Core, to which their arrival time will be roughly 5 minutes. Announcing the time frame, the security guard was unaware that Yaira was already on scene and charges headfirst into the garage as the girl was unleashing her powers. Yaira quickly punches the girl, stopping her power outburst. Quite surprised that the girl not only lived from the punch, but wasn't even knocked out. Yaira says to the girl that she took the punch like a champ, which makes the girl ask, was Yaira trying to knock her out? To which Yaira responds to, it was meant as a death blow. Pause. See what I mean when I tell you that if you manage to get on Yaira's radar and she finally gets to you, that is it. Your life bar is gone. You ran out of coins, the countdown reached 0, and the fat lady sings, "Game over." Yaira questions the girl on how did she acquire those powers. Scared out of her mind, the girl begs Yaira not to hurt her. Yaira replies back, saying that she asked her a question, which triggers the girl's powers again. While Yaira is thinking on how she's going to inflict the real damage to the girl managed to sucker punch Yaira, sending her through the building into the top floor of another building. Shaking off the blow, Yaira charged back in only to be immediately stopped by the 3 mysterious beings who witnessed the initial blast. These mysterious people are Yaira's people, and it turns out that they are not here for a friendly visit, but to apprehend Yaira for crimes she supposedly committed against her people. As they try to intimidate Yaira, she flat out ignores them to search for the girl, and quickly grabbing her, letting her know that she's in great danger and she could end up dying tonight. Quickly assessing the situation, the girl sides with Yaira and tries to escape, while Yaira deals with the threat above. As Yaira fights the 2 of the 3 individuals, one of them manages to slip past Yaira and goes after the girl. Underestimating the 2 fighters, Yaira is getting overpowered and end up getting knocked to the ground right next to the girl, who managed to break inside a vehicle. However, as she tries to start the vehicle, she is attacked by a humanoid creature that reveals its insect form. Hearing the screams of the girl, Yaira dashes towards the car and swiftly knocks the creature from her. Yaira tries to remove the girl from the vehicle to escape, but she resists and stays in the vehicle and manages to start it. Letting go of her, Yaira dashed after the insect again, but is stunned by the poisonous fumes that the insect has released. Taking advantage of the attack, the 2 individuals knocks Yaira down. Seeing Yaira on her knees, they begin to gloat and tell her to kneel, to which Yaira begins to laugh. Confused on what Yaira finds amusing, Yaira mocks them by telling them that they came so far from home, only to get outwitted by a child. As soon as the words left Yaira's lips, the 3 hear tires squeal and sees that the girl managed to evade them. As they begin to give chase, Yaira distracted them by flying in front of them, managing to get their focus on just her. While all of this is going down, the Alpha Core is monitoring the situation through cameras and originally planned on going after Yaira, but ending up changing plans to go after the girl, knowing that it will only be a matter of time before Yaira comes to them. As Yaira fly away, having the 3 individuals from her world play cat and mouse, she keeps them distracted by shit-talking them, stating that she's shocked that they were able to keep up with her at their old age, and it's been a long time since they got those old bones working this hard. It is here is when we learn the names of the 3 individuals that is chasing Yaira. The leader of the group, the woman name is Yanissa, the male's name is Yanthony, and the insect's humanoid name is Numite Magus. Having enough of the games, Magus yells to Yaira that she will be the one to die here. and she'll never see home again. As he lands on the ground, jamming his hands through the sand, manipulating the sand into a large hand and grabbing Yaira. But it's no use because Yaira breaks through the hand, yelling that this is her home, and continues to move forward in order to once again have all three chase after her. Angering Yanissa and Yuntani, they reply back to her saying that this is a good thing that she prefers to live here because this will be her grave. Even this place is disgusting to him, to which Yaira responds that this isn't just anywhere. This is Texas, and you don't mess with Texas. Damn straight. Yaira, as powerful as she is, knows to respect Texas. As Yanissa starts to mock the great name of Texas, Yaira pulls out a lighter and tosses it as she is hovering over an oil field. And as the three are not from this world, they don't know how much of a danger they're in, and well, kablooey. Using the fiery blaze to make her escape. 8 hours later, making sure that the ghost is clear, Yaira changes outfits, pulling out a nice Carmen Sandiego look as she visits a senior citizen. Upon opening the door, an older lady immediately recognizes Yaira as she's trying to disguise herself as Sally Rodell. Yaira tries to tell the woman that she's mistaken, but the older woman isn't fooled and tells Yaira her name is Carmen Martinez. And she also makes Yaira aware of the fact that Yaira really knows who she is. She starts to tell Yaira a story that her great-grandmother passed down, a goddess who fell to the earth. And as Carmen tells the story, Yaira takes Carmen to her base in order to protect her from the potential danger coming her way. Carmen then begs Yaira to protect her granddaughter, Stefania, which is our mysterious girl. And not going to lie, it is hard to pronounce her name, and to save y'all's ears from the butchering that I'm going to do, I'm just going to call her Steph. Yaira reassured Carmen that she is under her protection, and that she will see to it that they are reunited. However, she must know have Steph displayed powers before, to which that is news to Carmen. Managing to get back to her gang, Steph shows off her new powers to the gang and realizing that they are similar to Yaira's. The gang plans on getting revenge on the guard that killed their members that night, but Steph wanted to lie low due to Yaira and the Alpha Corps still being out there, to which her gang was immediately ambushed by Alpha Corps. As Steph tries to escape, Solori blocks her exit and places her under arrest. Recovering from their injuries, Yuntani convinces Yanissa to make a tactical retreat. Magus volunteers to stay and hunt them down, both Yaira and Steph, and releases a swarm of beetles to track them. As they fly all over Florspark, one lands on Autona's car. Seeing that something is off with this particular bug, Autona quickly captures it and runs into the building, escaping the swarm coming her way. While the Alpha Corps has Steph and her crew detained, Solari interrogates Steph to figure out what is her relations to Yaira. Steph doesn't know anything about Yaira, and that she only met her today. Not believing her, Solari continues to question her about her powers, to which Steph tries to play dumb. However, Solari isn't falling for it. As he questions her about her powers, he noticed that the room two-way mirror was fogging up. So he tells her that she's trying to use them right now to escape this room, to which Steph responds she's not doing anything. Suddenly, the alarms are going off, and Braxwell and Valdez runs into the room, and before they can put two and two together, they hear an ominous voice. That voice is Yaira. She managed to obtain a uniform and infiltrate the prison. Yaira has definitely played Hitman. Just saying. Yaira uses her powers to lower the temperature of the prison to where the steel becomes brittle, allowing the prisoners to cause a prison raid. Quickly coming up with a plan, Solari orders Valdez and Braxwell to contain the prisoners and not to worry about Yaira, because she will come for him. As Yaira gets in on some of that prison raid action, a man boldly steps behind Yaira and attempts the worst cat call of the century. And well, it goes exactly how you expected it to. Solari tries to make a quick escape among the chaos, but unfortunately Yaira still catches them, and round 2 begins, with this time Solari appearing to have the upper hand on Yaira. But nope, it's all part of Yaira's plan. She managed to get him under a large block of ice, smashing it to bury Solari. Breaking out of the ice, Solari checks on Steph to make sure that she's okay, only to realize that she and Yaira is gone. However, this guy in his tight-ass jumpsuit has some unfinished business with Solari. And just as he thought he was going to get his payback, Solari is pissed. So some super police brutality is about to commence. Managing to get Steph back to the safe house, Steph asks Yaira if she's going to remove her cuffs, to which Yaira replies, "Do it yourself, child." To which Steph easily breaks her handcuffs. As they walk into Yaira's safe house, they are attacked by a massive swarm of beetles. Yaira tries to fight them off, but she's getting overwhelmed. While being overwhelmed by the beetles, Steph's powers triggers and she managed to freeze all of the beetles surrounding them. Just as when they thought they was in the clear, Magus stands before them with a horrifying sight as he holds Carmen lifeless in his arms, then dropping her to the floor like she was nothing. Seeing her grandmother dead, Steph's anger turns towards Yaira as she believes that Yaira is the one trying to kill her. Yaira wants to explain the truth to her, but Magus doesn't give her any time to do so, quickly taking advantage of the confusion and swarms Yaira. Steph managed to escape, leaving Yaira to deal with Magus. Taunting Yaira, Magus leans towards Carmen to try to consume her body, which furthermore pisses off Yaira, and she freezes the beetles surrounding her and gives Magus one mean right hook, knocking him away from Carmen. Then attempts to look for Steph. Turning her back to Magus, which pisses him off, he uses that to pepper her up and forcing her to flee to the sky to reassess the situation. However, Magus managed to hide within the clouds and launch the darts again. Yaira dodges them, and that's what Magus wanted her to do, as he charges a powerful lightning bolt that blew Yaira's back out, literally, causing Yaira to fall into a construction zone, which she uses to escape, but only because Magus loves the thrill of the hunt. Managing to stitch herself up, Yaira drags herself back to Projexis, where she bumps into Autona. Yaira tries to reject Autona's help, but Autona doesn't take no for an answer, and aided Yaira to one of the cryogenic chambers to slow her bleeding. That way, Autona can suture her wounds closed. And this is where I have my questions. What exactly is Yaira? Is she an alien? Insect-human hybrid? What the hell are we looking at? During the operation, Autona small talks with Yaira, telling her about her husband and how he worked on the oil field and unfortunately died honorably on the job. Yaira asks Autona if she has any children, to which Autona replies yes, her daughter Vassie. Autona asks the same question to Yaira about her past, but Yaira, not fully trusting Autona, turns down the question. So that's one problem solved. How are they going to deal with the bug problem? Coming up with a plan of action, Yaira leaves the bug problem to Autona, while she sets out to finish the fight with her people. When getting away from Yaira and Magus, Steph turns herself in to the Alpha Core, updating them on what went down at Yaira's base. The Alpha Core tries to consult Steph on her loss of her grandmother, and Solari promises to bring Yaira to justice for her death. Solari tries to come up with a plan with Steph to lure Yaira out again, but Steph rejects him, for his plans seem shady. Luckily for Solari, he won't have to look for Yaira, because right now she's in the middle of the city using her powers to cause a winter storm that covered the whole city of Florspark. Fully healed from her fight with Magus, Yaira uses her powers to send out a strong message. Pull up. I'm done fucking around. It's time we end this. Alpha Core, Yanissa, Yatoni, It is time that I take all you bitches out with one storm. Being the first ones to respond, Yanissa and Yunthani and Magus arrives, with Yanissa and Yunthani wearing armor. And just as they begin to clash, Alphacore comes in with guns blazing, firing at Yaira's people, protecting her. Seeing as though they are the greater threat than Yaira, so they form a temporary team up. As the groups clash in this epic battle, trading blows left and right, one getting the edge over the other, Yaira managed to get herself closer to Steph while during the battle. She tries to communicate with Steph using Spanish. However, with her newfound hatred and distrust towards Yaira, Steph rejected communication with Yaira. Yaira pushes and says to her that she's going to one day tell her everything that she wants to know, with Solari interjecting in Spanish, planting more seeds of doubt towards Yaira. As they got back into the fight, it seemed as though they're at a standstill, and just when you think things couldn't get any more weirder, it started raining fire from the clouds. But this isn't due to any magic manipulation or weapon that the Alphacore is using. It is the millions of beetles that Magus laid, and upon witnessing his children on fire, he yelled out a loud scream. Back at Projects, Atana managed to synthesize the flower needed to kill the beetles, and as the tables start to turn towards Yaira's favor, Yaira manages to take Steph back to Projects, putting her in the safety of Autoda, then takes off in a rush. While flying in the sky, the battle seems to have stopped, giving Yaira time to reflect on the story that Carmen told her about the goddess that fell from the sky, how Yaira came to Earth. Newly free from her world, seeking out he who shall not be named, hearing of our world from legends, Yaira manages to find Earth and landed in Iceland, back in the Viking era. It is there that she meets the man who she falls in love with, Gorm. Joining Gorm and his people, Yaira had to use her strength to help hunt for food and protect her new home. Then, on a beautiful day, her and Gorm got married and exchanged swords from both their lands. Gorm's sword was from his ancestors, passed down to the future generations of sons that she will bear, and Yaira, a magical sword from her world. And with time, she bared many of his children, 7 of them to be exact. All of them being her children, but none possessing her powers, only having strength stronger and aging faster than the humans of Earth. Her once dream slowly turned into a nightmare, because soon all of her loved ones would age and die, while she still looked the same as the first day she fell to Earth. One by one, from her husband to her grandchild, she had to bury them. And even though she knew that one day, when it's her turn to die, she will see him in Valhalla, 39 long years for humans, but a blink for Yaira. The pain was too great with each death, so eventually Yaira disappeared, and every so often come back to check on her great-grandchildren, but only from a distance. She didn't want to become attached to her kin. Pause, and that's where I have my questions for the Excepts. Are Excepts the result of Yaira and many beings like her mating with humans, giving their offspring the unique genetic code for their powers, and under the right conditions, that genetic code activates? Are these genetic codes from gods? Is the DNA alien? Or are they actually mutations? Is it a mix of both? What even is Yaira? Is she a god, or an alien from another galaxy, or a human from another galaxy where humans have powers? Remember, her organs are very different from humans of Earth, but similar enough to be able to breed with them. Plus, she's traveled far from her original home. Her travels could be from several planets or a couple of galaxies. Man, I can't wait to dive deeper into this universe and find out. Okay, back to the story. Arriving to an unknown location, this happens to be Solari's home. Getting a good workout in, Solari notices Yaira's presence and gives her the okay to come out of the shadows. And with a little flirty banter, Yaira says that they act like an old married couple and that she would like to file for divorce. Having Solari swear to her that he will protect Steph, she swears to him that he will never see her again. Solari agrees, but he also asks, why is Steph so important to her? Yaira replies that she's a child of her children, and that she doesn't know of Yaira and doesn't even know what she truly is. And with that, Yaira flies into the sky, leaving Solari like the rest of us asking, wait, you have children? Solari knows that one day Yaira will come back, but for now, this is the best case scenario, rather than another drawn out battle. Truly prepared for the last encounter with her people from her world, Yaira flies back to a volcano, the one that once erupted while she and her twin daughters hunted, in preparation for the best way to finish all of them. Yaira sends out a signal and yelling for them to come to her, for she is done hiding, and right on cue, they show up. And after exchanging pleasantries, because they love to hear themselves talk, the battle proceeds. And even though it appears that the group has Yaira in a bind, shooting ice beams at her and hitting her with diamond shard, Yanissa and Yanthony, overconfident with their abilities, thinking Yaira was mistaken bringing a fight to a cold environment, even Magus turning the diamond shards into 3 golems to help bring Yaira to her knees. Magus ready to deal the final blow to end Yaira. Yanissa yells for him to not to kill her. She wants her alive and wants her to face justice on their native land. However, Magnus wants her to die here and now, with Yanthony siding with him. Enraged, Yanissa blasts both of them for insubordination, not realizing that she gave Yaira enough time to activate her trap. They tried to rush to stop her, but it was too late. Yanthony grabs Yaira and attempts to bring her down, but realizes that she's smiling and also freezing herself. Yaira explains to him that she is not freezing herself, but instead she's turning nitrogen into its liquid form and pumping it throughout her body, trying to cool her body to a negative 320 degrees Fahrenheit. That's a negative 195.5 Celsius for my Eastern folks. Then she slams him through the ground, hard enough to cause the lava to explode from the ground, cooking both Yanthony and Yanissa. Yaira asks Yanissa does she still think of Yaira as beneath her, to which Yanissa replies, calling her an ant, and that she will be a hero, and others will come for her, to which Yaira responds, let them come.
Finish her!
Yaira wins. Fatality.
Now one remains. Flying off to deal with Magus, he catches her off guard with a special beam cannon, knocking her to the ground, gloating that she forgot that he's invulnerable to magic. But being aware of this invulnerability, Yaira makes her way to the sword that she gave her late husband, and using it to defeat Magus with an epic decapitation. Her victory being short-lived as the volcano goes live and fully erupts. Trying to quickly cool the volcano back down, the volcano once again erupts, knocking Yaira out of the sky into the ocean. Slowly losing consciousness, Yaira accepts that she might die and hope to see her husband in Valhalla. But with her last sight, she sees a man with a trident. Finally having her into custody, the Alpha Core plans on transferring Self to a prison made for exile. Solari overhears Steph's praying, asking God if she was to get another chance, she will change her life and do better for herself, because that is what her abuela will want for her, and she doesn't want to make her abuela to be ashamed of her. Moved by her prayer, Solari offers her another chance. Waking up, Yaira is fully healed and daunting in exquisite armor. Thinking that this may be a gift from the gods of Valhalla, she looks around to see who has saved her. to which she sees a familiar face. Him. He who shall not be named. Neptune. Time has passed, and now we see Steph training and mastering her powers, with Solari being her instructor. Complimenting her on her ability to control her powers, Solari warns her, for when she loses control of her emotions, she loses. However, with her newfound strength, Steph says to Solari that she won't lose, for the next time she faces Yaira, she's going to win, and she will be the one to kill Yaira. Yaira, once again observing from afar, hears Steph. Understanding her pain, Yaira flies off into the distance to hopefully one day rebuild her relationship with her greatest grandchild. The end. And that is it for part 2. Hope you guys enjoyed my reading. Sorry if I butchered a lot of words and did a lot of tongue twizzling and mumbling, but I was able to get you guys here. And that's it for this review. Until next time, y'all. Peace.